The only assurance I want to give you is that we have agreed to participate competition in initiating alternative disputes in the county. We have agreed that the respective chiefs and assistant chiefs carry out a credible inspection so that we come up with a structure on how these alternative dispute resolution can be effectively implemented in the county. If we are able to receive the sentiment, the feelings on how the structure can be put in place,
I agree with you, and it is unfortunate that cases have been taking a considerable amount of time in the courts. Now, we need to understand first why. And the reason is that we have a lot of cases in court, especially cases related to land, quite a big number. And it is because land is very dear to Kenyans, so every time there is an issue about land, they will go to court to assert their rights, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But of course, because of that, the numbers have been big. And that, coupled with the fact that the number of judges and judicial officers is small as compared to them. First, let us appreciate that traditionally, it is men who used to own land. Traditionally. A long time ago, even before the colonialists came, or shortly after the colonialists departed, land was generally held by men. That is not just in Kisii, but it is a countrywide phenomenon. That is a reality. But of course, slowly over time, cultures are changing to appreciate that women can also hold land. And cultural change is not something that is instant. It takes some time. In some communities, the change is faster. In some other communities, the change is slower. But the fact and the reality is that that culture of men holding land by themselves and women not holding land is now changing. Even here in Kisii, you will actually be surprised that there's a lot of land being held by women. I see in court a lot of times where a man who is, in most instances, polygamous, has distributed his land. In fact, it is a reality that in Kisii, a lot, not all, but a good number of the murder cases, and not just murder, even assaults causing grievous harm, and generally fights between people, is tied to land. And as I mentioned, it's because land is scarce, land is dear to people. So anything that is tied to land becomes an emotional issue, and sometimes emotions boil over and somebody takes the law into their hands. It is an unfortunate scenario, but it is a reality. What I would urge communities is this: assaulting your neighbor or a person that you have a land dispute with is not an answer. Killing your neighbor or the person that you have a land dispute with is not a solution. Taking a panga or a weapon so that you want to scare or harm the person that you have a land dispute with is not a solution. We have courts. If you have a problem with land, just come to court and have the court resolve that dispute and then respect that decision. If you have ways of solving that dispute away from the courts, even better. So this idea of murder or assault being a solution to land dispute is, I'm sorry to use this word, but it's primitive, and it should be a thing of the past. We have mechanisms for resolving land disputes, and people need to take those mechanisms rather than take the law to their hearts.
Then all parts must come together. Remember that move is strategically placed in a manner where it's not there, then everybody